thank you for joining Carrie Rios and myself, Amber Tripp, in our first podcast series for Clark College Community and Continuing Education. We really wanted to celebrate the instructors at Clark College CCE and kind of pick their brains on who they are, what they offer, and what the class is all about, because we've got the feeling that our community really doesn't understand all the offerings. And I'll tell you what, through these podcasts, I seriously want to sign up for every single class. I just don't have the funds right now. But I've learned so many interesting little nuggets from all the instructors that I'm just taking it and soaking it in. So without further ado, Barbara, I'm going to have you introduce yourself briefly with your name and the class that you teach at Clark College CCE.
All right. Well, thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be a part of this program. And my name is Barbara Baker, and I'm teaching the Gospel of Mary Magdalene.
Awesome. So I have to know, I have so many questions about this, but I want to know what inspired you to teach this class in particular.
Well, I was in need myself for a new beginning with my own spiritual practices and faith. And what I found in this hidden and once forbidden gospel was just too good to keep only for myself. So there is a purity and a simplicity in this ancient wisdom story that makes it perfect for our 21st century lives.
Okay. And were you always interested in this topic?
I've always been interested in the subject of a divine relationship since I was a child. And I would say that I've been, when I found that the Christian church sort of failed to deliver on its promises in terms of, if I believe this, this will happen, or if I do this, this will happen. I didn't lose faith in the potential of the relationship, but I felt that somehow parts of the story had been withheld from me. And there came a point in my life where I wanted to find the pieces. And I went to graduate school, to seminary, and graduated and became a chaplain and worked in continuing care and dementia facilities, and learned and saw a lot of different versions of the face of God, you know, from a lot of people, whether it was the eyes of their dog or the fact that they loved flower arranging or some very strict theological beliefs. Everybody has a different relationship with what they feel that spark is within them. So anyway, I've been interested in this for a long Time, and didn't find the answers in seminary because they didn't teach about Mary Magdalene because she was forbidden and hidden. But I found it later. So I think I've been sort of a perpetual quester.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it. I mean, and a lot of people are like that too. They just want to find the things out that they don't know, right? Or the things that are, like you say, hidden from them. So I want to know, really, who is this class designed for? Who would be the student that would take this class?
Yeah, well, definitely, like I said, I think it's designed for seekers and finders, but it's also designed for artists, writers, scientists, anyone wanting inspiration and to grow their intuitive skills, because the teachings within the gospel help us to connect through our heart to this amazing, intuitive, loving source that is ready to help guide and organize and direct our lives. So it's designed for that. It's also, though, for anybody who has felt hurt or rejected from mainstream religion because of their gender or their race or their sexual orientation. They'll find a loving home in the words of the Gospel of Mary Magdalene, and it'll support their own faith in the New Testament too. It's also really fun to watch Mary and Jesus as real people, as a couple, be courageous and brave, and show that they have this deep passion for the betterment of humanity, and they're willing to lay it all out to help us enjoy this experience here on earth. So for anybody who's interested in any of that, it's designed for them.
Awesome. I love that. And I have a question too. So when I look at the class heading, which is the Gospel of Mary Magdalene. If I were not religious, or if I didn't have any religious tendencies, or was very against religion, maybe, I feel like that title might turn me off. So what would you say to those that are like that, who would be like, yeah, it's not for me because it's all about religion? Is it truly about religion, or is it truly more, is there deeper context there that we're kind of missing with that subject?
Yeah, I think it's definitely beyond organized religion. It's definitely beyond the Catholic Church's version of religion. I mean, Mary and Jesus, if you will, they were the original Skywalkers. They were the ones that learned how to use the Force, Luke. And these are the teachings and the people that George Lucas, prefaced his whole Star Wars series on. Only, of course, he didn't go into that. He didn't go into how do you access that. I mean, except for a few movie clips, you see Luke trying to figure out how to intuit his way through. But the rest of it is all just shoot them all up. But for us, we need to learn how to pause and not shoot everybody up. We're really good at that. So this course would be to help us learn what that was about. I mean, how do you connect to the Force? How do you get in there and use it because what is within you will bring without. Sure. You will bring into your outside. So I know I agree with you, Amber. And also there's like a stained glass, the old picture of that for the advertisement is, I don't even think it's Mary Magdalene. It looks like, oh, I'm sorry, my shoot.
It's okay.
I got to turn off my email or it's going to go ding, ding, ding. Anyway, quit mail. There we go. So I would certainly be open to a different picture or something, because yes, I don't want those are the very people I want to meet. I want to reach are the ones who've been rejected. That's why, hence your question. Those are the very people we want to share this with, are the ones who have felt rejected and not heard and left out. No, you're right on with that question. And so I don't know if that answers that. Does that help?
Yeah, it's just more of curiosity for me because, as I actually do go to church. I'm a churchgoer, but if I wasn't, I don't know if I would take the class because it feels to me like it's very church related. But like you said, it's like this hidden story and this hidden connection this hidden story that nobody really knows about. And honestly, I don't know about it, so I probably should take this class like every other class at Clark College CCE. But it's very interesting that it's a forbidden story, and kind of that sparks my intrigue.
Well, it also, Amber, it highlights the mastery of a woman.
Yeah.
Because Mary Magdalene was the master. And in this story, Jesus doesn't hand the church down to Peter. He hands it to a woman. He hands it to Mary. And that was a battle. I call it the battle for the eye of the heart. That was the battle that went on for like 500 years. After Jesus's crucifixion, was which direction are we going to go? Are we going to go into the patriarchal world, or are we going to go into the feminine world? And the church made the decision to cut women out. Yes. So it's also a place for, that's why I said, for anybody who's been rejected by, their gender, what was it like to be a female priest, one of Jesus's disciples? We cover history and set this in the context of what was happening then, and we read it as a play. The gospel itself is almost written as a play. You can take it apart and assign voices to the people in the class, and it helps them to get a better perspective of what was going on in the room when they were all discussing where to go with these teachings.
Wow, that's incredible that that just got cut off. Thank you, Catholic Church. I think that's the right statement, right? I think that is that true? Is the Catholic Church kind of, was that the?
Well, the name for Mary Magdalene in the first century was the apostle to the apostles, which meant when everybody got in trouble, they went to her. because she had, especially after Jesus was killed, she was the one that understood him better than anyone else. Now, this title, the Apostle to the Apostles, was known through 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, all the way through. In fact, in 2016, Pope Francis reestablished that as her name, the Apostle to the Apostles, and admitted it to the world. Of course, it just slipped through. Nobody really,
It was a little byline.
There wasn't any rah-rah about it, but they didn't want a woman leader. They made her into the prostitute, they made her into the repentant prostitute, or women were just onlookers. They were not active members of this movement. And it was really a radical, spiritual, political, economical movement in that time.
Wow.
So, which we still see happening today.
Yeah, absolutely.
In some places. Yeah. So anyway, the Catholic Church found it very threatening.
Yeah.
And Dan Brown, of course, in the novel, The Da Vinci Code,
Yep.
brought her out, but more like, she was Jesus's wife and his girlfriend. And okay, great. We've all been defined as, the boss's wife, but she was so much more than this. She was so much more than this. And yes, the church did know it.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much for your insight on this. I had no idea the depths of Mary Magdalene and how much influence really she had that was hidden. Yeah. So I would, absolutely rename it to be more something that mainstream would bite into, that's not that religious connotation necessarily, but the historical and the ramifications really of who she was and how she changed and maybe didn't change life as we know it today.
No, perfect. Absolutely. Just think of what would have happened. You see the teamwork between the male and the female in this gospel, and then it was cut out. What would the planet be like now if that teamwork had been continued and strengthened, and men and women were working together, and generations and centuries of quieting and stilling women's voices hadn't happened? It's hard to even imagine it.
Mind-blowing. I can't even. Yeah. Wow. There's some depth to this that I did not realize was there. So I really super appreciate you being on here. If there is one thing that if somebody was on the fence in enrolling in this class, what would you say to them to get them off the fence?
Oh, golly. I guess maybe expect to be surprised.
Yeah.
And expect to be surprised. There's an awful lot of deep love and acceptance, raw human emotion and passion in the short story. So I think, but it also asks us to take a real critical look at whether or not we're making decisions in our lives from our ego, which sometimes embraces too much greed and so forth and so on, or from our heart. Mm-hmm. And then it offers really nice, simple practices that you can do every day that are very quick and easy on how to realign yourself so that you're coming from a good place instead of one of, not so good.
Yeah. the hurt and the fear behind that. Yeah. So about to wrap this up, but is there anything that you wanted to add?
No, I hope that we will have, I guess if people come to the class, everybody who's taken the class has said that they've really gotten a lot out of it. And it's changed the way they think about themselves in the world and so forth and so on. And they see that it's applicable across many different disciplines.
Oh, very cool.
So, it asks them to reflect and then produce. So it's been good. Yeah.
Awesome.
That's
awesome.
all I have.
Barbara, I appreciate your insight and your passion for this subject, and just choosing this to give back to the community and show them that this is not everything you read is necessarily what happened. So I appreciate that you came on today and just kind of delved into that a little bit with us today. if you want to sign up for this class, currently is called The Gospel of Mary Magdalene, but it sounds like an intriguing mystery book to me. So I mean, this is where you want to go with it. Just sign up for it because it's an intriguing mystery, right? And you're going to find out all the hidden secrets about Mary and this wonderful person that she was that we just really don't know about, or we weren't told about. So the Gospel of Mary Magdalene, you will find it online at cce.clark.edu, and it will be under afternoon academics. For those of you going online, if you don't want to go online and you want to just call in, that's fine. We can register you real quick. 360-992-2939. Yes, I still cheat with that number because I'm not committed to memory. So 360-992-2939. Someone will help you register. You'll find the most up-to-date information online. You can learn the who's, the what's, the why's, the costs, the where's, all that stuff online on our website. So we hope to see you in the class. Barbara, thank you so much for being on today with your wisdom.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Awesome. We will see you on the flip side. Thank you so much.